Despite the brave and relentless efforts of Nal, Kato, and the villagers, the flood of soldiers and traders that followed in Stanley's wake seemed unending. An overwhelming force that the people of the Congo could not stop. The jungle, once a haven of safety and secrecy, no longer provided enough protection from the sheer might of Leopold II's vast forces, which moved relentlessly through the land like a plague. Far away in Belgium, Leopold, a king whose greed knew no bounds and whose ambitions were monstrous, had claimed the Congo as his personal possession, a place of unimaginable wealth and beauty, but one that he saw only as a means to enrich himself. Under his cruel and oppressive rule, millions of Congolese people would suffer unimaginable horrors, their lives crushed under the weight of forced labor, brutal violence, and heartless exploitation. The land, once vibrant and free, would weep under the reign of a tyrant who valued only its riches. Nala and Kato stood on a high hill, looking out over the vast landscape that had once been theirs. From their vantage point, they could see the village below, and beyond it, a long line of men marching through the dense jungle, their uniforms stark against the green foliage. More of Leopold's men had arrived, soldiers with rifles slung across their backs and traders carrying supplies that signaled the beginning of a new, dark era for the Congo. The sun hung low in the sky, casting a blood-red glow over the scene, as if the land itself was weeping. Nala's heart was heavy, her body weary from the endless fight. Kato, standing beside her, clenched his fists as he stared at the invaders, his jaw tight with barely contained fury. They had fought so hard, yet it seemed as though the tide of colonization was unstoppable.
We did all we could, Kato. We fought with everything we had, but they are too many.
We will never stop fighting. Even if it takes generations, we will reclaim our land. We will never let them win.
We must stay strong for the future. The Congo spirit is still alive, Kato, and no matter what happens, we will keep fighting. Leopold's colonization of the Congo would go down in history as one of the darkest and most brutal chapters in Africa's long and storied past. Under his oppressive rule, millions of Congolese people were forced into backbreaking labor, often in rubber plantations, and subjected to unspeakable cruelties. The land that had once been rich with life was drained of its resources, its beauty turned into profit for a distant king. Ivory, rubber, and minerals were ripped from the earth, leaving the people with nothing but pain and hardship. But even in the face of this overwhelming oppression, the spirit of resistance lived on. Nala and Kato, along with others like them, refused to bow to tyranny. Though they were outnumbered and outgunned, their courage and determination to protect the Congo's heart never wavered. As Leopold's men established control over the land, setting up camps and marking territory, Nala and Kato made the difficult decision to retreat deeper into the jungle. The fight had not ended for them, it had simply changed. They knew they could not defeat the invaders head-on, but they could continue to resist in other ways, keeping the spirit of the Congo alive in their hearts and in the hearts of those who followed them. The jungle, still vast and untamed in many parts, became their refuge once again. As they moved through the thick foliage, the sounds of the invading forces grew fainter, and the familiar hum of the jungle surrounded them once more. The birds called from the treetops, and the river flowed steadily, as if reminding them that, despite everything, the land was still theirs. The Congo is still ours, Kato. No king, no matter how powerful, can take that from us. The land remembers its people.
And one day, we will be free again. They may have taken our villages, but they will never take our spirit.
Though Nala and Kato's efforts could not stop the flood of colonization, their story became a powerful symbol of resistance. Their courage and unwavering determination in the face of impossible odds echoed through the ages, inspiring future generations to fight for their freedom and for the right to live on their own land. The Congo, scarred and wounded, would one day rise again. For years, the people would tell the story of Nala and Kato, the two brave souls who stood against a king and refused to bow, even when the world seemed to be against them. Their bravery became a beacon of hope, a reminder that the fight for freedom never truly ends, and that no amount of force could ever extinguish the spirit of a people bound to their land. Years passed, and though the Congo suffered deeply under the crushing weight of colonization, the seeds of resistance that Nala and Kato had planted in the heart of the jungle began to grow, nurtured by the quiet determination of their people. Their story, once whispered in the shadows, spread from village to village, carried by those who remembered their bravery and their fight for freedom. It became more than just a tale. It became a symbol of defiance, an anthem of hope that inspired future generations to resist oppression in all its brutal forms. Even as Leopold and his men continued to exploit the land, draining its resources and breaking its people, the indomitable spirit of the Congo lived on in the hearts of those who dared to fight back. Nala and Kato's legacy endured through the years, a legacy built on courage, unyielding strength, and the unwavering belief that freedom was worth every sacrifice, no matter how long the struggle took or how many battles were fought. The flame of resistance they had ignited would burn brightly through the darkest times, lighting the way for those yet to come.
We may not see the day when the Congo is free again, Kato, but we will be part of the story. The fight we started will live on in our people.
Though they could not see it yet, the resistance that Nal and Kato had begun would continue to grow, fueled by the undying hope that one day the Congo would rise from the ashes of colonization. Their bravery and determination would echo through the years, reminding all who heard their story that the fight for freedom is never truly lost, so long as there are those willing to stand and fight. And so, while Leopold II and his men tried to claim the Congo as their own, they could never truly possess it. The land belonged to its people, and no matter how much blood was spilled, that truth would remain unshakable forever.